All right. Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. I'm just waiting on the YouTube to go live real quick. Maybe I got to refresh. Oh, it is live on YouTube. Okay. Hello, everybody. I think I made my first mistake. I drank all the coffee before the webinar, before the tech talk. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Let's do some intros. My name is Chris on Code. I am a dev advocate at DigitalOcean. I started a website called scotch.io, which is a web development tutorial site. This webinar will be for DigitalOcean, and we are going to build and deploy a Laravel app today. So Laravel, one of my absolute favorites, scotch.io is built on Laravel. I will also be watching the chat. If you want to say, hey Jose, hey Mark, hey Ali, welcome everybody. Hey Joe Collins, welcome, welcome. If you also want to drop in where you're from in the chat, that would be fun. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, the city of lights and casinos. So what are we going to do today? Laravel is one of my absolute favorite technologies and frameworks, and we're going to build an app and deploy it to what I think is a very exciting new product from DigitalOcean called App Platform. And I've been waiting for this one for a while, so let's see how App Platform does with Laravel. Mark from Egypt, Zach Tech from UK. Welcome, welcome everybody all around the world. I love it. Awesome. Italy to Chicago to North Carolina. Welcome everybody. Okay. So here we are at DigitalOcean.com. Here is the page for our Tech Talk today. And you'll notice I jumped between Tech Talk and webinar. We kind of interchanged the words there. We'll be building with Laravel. How many of us have used Laravel or like Laravel? Moscow to India to the Netherlands, Norway. I love it so much. And this talk will be recorded and be on the DigitalOcean YouTube channel here at youtube.com/c/DigitalOcean. And these are my previous ones. If you search for Laravel in the little search bar here, you'll see my getting started with Laravel, creating a Laravel API, handling CRUD and Laravel. So we've done a few of these in the past. Right on. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We're going to build a pretty simple blog, and I want to show you how we can deploy it to App Platform. And I think I'm going to be using App Platform to deploy all my Laravel apps from now on. So let's go into my terminal here. I have a little Laravel apps folder. I hope that's large enough to see. So let's do that. I'm going to say Laravel new blog, or let's call it my blog. And this is how I built scotch.io on Laravel. 4 million page views a month. So Laravel can handle some serious traffic. I love it so much. All right, so here we are. I have this right here. Let's open this up. Oh, code my dash blog. So we'll open this up in VS Code. And let's get started. So what I want to do here is I just want to see if this runs. Let's go get Chrome here. My dash blog.test. And if you have questions, I'm watching the chat. Drop your questions in there. So we have our Laravel app with Laravel new. What I want to start this webinar off with is I want to deploy to App Platform first, and then we'll build out our blog. And every time we git push, we commit and push to GitHub, we are going to see the app get rebuilt on App Platform, which is a first for DigitalOcean. Usually you had to create a droplet, SSH into the droplet, create your git SSH keys, do the git clone, and then do some sort of like webhook or something. But here, if I go into my DigitalOcean dashboard, sign in, Paraguay, Palm Beach, welcome everybody. I love it. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so if we go to manage, we click on this little apps icon here in our DigitalOcean dashboard. We get our new apps dashboard. And I have a few deployed already. Here's the live URLs here. I'm going to go ahead and create an app. And this is what's super exciting to me. This is, I've loved DigitalOcean for a long time, even before I worked at DigitalOcean. And I was deployed to DigitalOcean through like creating a droplet. But here we can just go straight to GitHub, and I'm going to, oh, well, Chris, you never created the GitHub repo, huh? So let's go create a GitHub repo. I'm going to, actually, let's do this in terminal here. So we'll go into my blog. And from here, I'll do a git init, create the Git repo. Let's create a repo online. So I'm going to say gh, which is the GitHub CLI tool, gh repo create. And I love this workflow from starting locally, creating your Git repo, and then pushing it up to GitHub. Repo name, I'll just call it my blog. Repo description, meh. Public repo here. And I'll hit continue. So there we are, brand new repo on GitHub. And I can do gh repo-view-delview. And that'll open us up right into our GitHub repo. And let me drop that link in chat for you all. So this is our brand new repo we created. We don't have anything in there yet, so we should push to it, right? So let's go back into our terminal. I'm going to git add all, git commit m first. For you all uses your first commit message. And then I'll do a git push. Oh, gotta do this thing, git push, set upstream, origin master. Okay, so all of this so far is just creating GitHub repo from a new Laravel app. So now that we have our new app, let's go refresh this right here. Okay, so that looks really good. We have our Laravel app here. I'm going to go now into our DigitalOcean dashboard. Click my dash blog. Oh, let's refresh, go grab some new repos here. I'll do my dash blog. I'll click next here. There we go. So we have a brand new app about to start. Now we have to configure it. So we have my blog, we'll call it. It's from the New York region. You can also click your region that's closest to you. I'm going to go for the master branch and auto deploy code changes. What an amazing little button right here, because we would have had to do this ourselves. So yeah, I'll click next here. And while this is deploying, drop your questions in chat. I'll answer them while this is going. Let's see, PHP app is detected. And I'm going to show you a couple cool things about app platform. So here we have a web service, or we can deploy a static site. So what's cool is we can deploy a Laravel API plus a React front end or a Vue front end, Angular front end, whatever you want as a static site. And then the two can live together and work together, which I think is amazing. HTTP routes, we're going to let this live at the /route. If you had an API and you wanted to deploy an API, you would just do like /API or /app or something like that. And then you could deploy the static site on the just the root right there. But since we don't have another site or app yet, we'll just do this at the root. And then environment variables, we'll go edit. Let's do app URL is going to be app URL. And this syntax right here, app platform comes with a couple different variables out of the box. App URL is something that we'll use, and we'll say, hey, Laravel, you are going to live at this URL. The other one that we want here is I'm going to say app_key, and I'm going to go into the Laravel app we just made, go into the environment right here, and I'm just going to copy this app right here. So I'm basically just using my local app key. Definitely don't like publicly announce what this is, but I'm going to use this here. I'm going to push this over to our app right here. And that's going to be the two environment variables that we use for this app. All right, so that's that. So we've got routes, we've got variables, build command. I'm going to go ahead and say composer install. Since this is a PHP app, we have Composer doing all of that stuff for us here for installing packages. So that looks good there. And then we are going to click next right here. So from here, we are going to pick what tier we want this app to live on. And the basic starts at $5 is what we're going to stick with right now. For when you go to production, you can throw this on the pro plan. We're going to click on our container size. And what's cool is you can change this after the fact. So you can actually say, I'm getting a ton of traffic. Let me upgrade the instance that I'm on. Number of containers, $5 a month. So here, monthly cost to run this Laravel app is $5. And if you want to try out app platform, I've got a link for you, co.co/Chris. That link I just dropped in chat will give you $100 to just try out app platform, see if you like it. So here I'll click launch basic app. And that will go ahead and do the install, all that good stuff right there. And if you've got questions, drop them in chat and I'll answer them while this is deploying. So let's see, is it better than AWS? It's hard to say better or worse. I mean, the classic answer in tech is it depends, right? DigitalOcean to me has always been about simplicity and letting me deploy without worrying about AWS's like 127 services or whatever it is nowadays. So for me, I like it because we just deployed our Laravel app just like this pretty quickly. I would say try out both, see which one you like. AWS does have sort of a PaaS solution as well. Let's see. What terminal program is this? So Indra, this is, I'm using iTerm 2. And the thing that I'm using OhmyZSH. And OhmyZSH has like an auto suggestions, autocomplete plugins that I'm using. All right, so let's see. Voyager, I have not. Laravel Voyager, that is I remember reading about it. Oh, Laravel admin. I have not. Oh, by DevDojo. Awesome. So I have not personally used it, but I have heard good things about it. And that's voyager.devdojo.com. And I can drop that chat over here. And then Mark, let me answer your question as soon as this deploys and I'll show you. Dr. Snark, right now, we are going to have, if you wanted to do testing, you would integrate that in your kind of deploy setup locally, or you could set something up through GitHub Actions. Right now, we don't really have a way to integrate that directly into App Platform. Hi, Isaac. Glad to hear it. Zach Tech, are we using Laravel 8? Yes, we created a brand new Laravel app today. So if we go to composer.json, Laravel Framework 8. There we go. Can we upload all environment variables at once? We are working on something for that, but right now it's the UI that you just saw. So while that's deploying, you're welcome. And seriously, everybody, drop your questions in. Happy to answer them, even though I am out of coffee. Okay, so while that's deploying, let's go and add a couple things to our app, like a database. So let's go back into VS Code. Where is VS Code? There we are. So one thing I want to do is let's make a blog. We call this my-blog, right? So I think this is operator mono, RPen. I'm pretty sure it's operator. So RPen's talking about my VS Code font. So let's change this database connection to SQLite. I'm going to use SQLite right here. And if I go over here to my settings, I'm just going to go into the database folder and I'm going to go new file, database.sqlite. And this is going to be where our database will live. Sorry, RPen. I am using Cascadia code for my font. If you are interested, font right here, which is a free font. I do also love operator mono. And here, my theme is Monokai.pro is my theme. That's that right there. So let's see. Let's go ahead and migrate this database and see what happens. So here I have database.sqlite. If I do PHP artisan migrate, we created a couple tables, create a users table, which is default out of the box Laravel, password resets table, failed jobs table. So all three of those are default. They come with Laravel, and we have them in our database now. And this is kind of our, if you want to look at the SQLite file, this is our database, which VS Code can't really read. So let's see what, let's go open this database. SQL Pro. What are you doing up there? Okay. Open existing database. I'm going to go to Batcave, which is where I put all my demo apps, Laravel apps, and let's go to my blog, database, database.sqlite. Okay. So here we are in our database. We have our new tables that we created. And how amazing is that? We created a brand new database and created tables in the database pretty easily thanks to Laravel. So let's take this a step further. Let's go add a posts table, and then so we can create like a blog. So if I go over here, I'm going to go over here into my terminal, clear that out. I'm going to say PHP artisan make model post, and I'll create a migration with it. And let's see. That's interesting. Well, I kind of threw some things in chat, but it seems like they're not in chat for some reason. Don't know why. So let's run this migration real quick, and then I'll drop that link back again for the $100 credit. And then the $100 credit is going to be right here, do.co/Chris. And that's so you can give App Platform a try, see if you like it. Sorry, everybody. I thought my links were throwing into chat, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Mo's Bartails question from chat: what resources would you recommend for a Laravel newbie? I think the Laravel docs are fantastic. Laravel's documentation gets you right through all of the best features. I've got that getting started with Laravel YouTube video that you can check out on the DigitalOcean channel. Thanks everyone for letting me know about the chat links. I thought they were working. Okay, so while we're here, let's finish out this thought. We want to create a new post. So let's go actually create some random fake posts. So I'm going to go into Cedars, and Cedars are a way that Laravel lets us create dummy data. So I'm going to say PHP artisan make Cedar post, or sorry, make factory post. So we create a factory called post factory. And let me do this real quick. So this is the post factory. We can basically say, create some dummy data. But before we create dummy data, I want to actually create our migration. Sorry, I'm jumping all over. I'm trying to answer the questions and I got lost. Okay, so create a migration is how we can add a brand new posts table, because we need to have data to have our blog, right? So here we have a migration. We're going to say, okay, well, I want a table string for title. We're going to have a table string for the slug, and we're going to have table text for content. And that's us building out some of these table fields for our blog posts. Okay, so we have this right here. We've created our blog posts. Let's go run this migration. We say PHP artisan migrate. Created our post table. Very cool right there. And then you see like SQL Pro kind of jumping right here. We can go look at our new post table, which has a title and a slug and a content. So that's really nice to see. Now let's create some dummy data. Let's go back here. And I'll answer some of these questions that I'm missing as soon as we do our next deploy. So let's go back into our code right here. We have our post factory. We can say title is equal to this faker text. And let's do like, I don't know, 40 characters. Let's do a slug. This faker text, maybe like 10 characters. And ideally, you would make this like real content. And let's do some content for this faker paragraphs. I don't know, 10. And let's say true. Okay. And we need to grab string. Okay, so let's go here. And sorry, I'm just typing a bunch of stuff. Let me double check what that is. Okay, so here we have faker is a package that Laravel has to let us fake some data. So here we have a way to create a fake post. So next up, we have to tell Laravel, hey, go ahead and create these fake posts. So we'll go into here and we have our post right here. We have our post factor. We have our post migration. Let's go into our Cedar and say, okay, I want you to app models post factory. And let's create 10 random ones. Okay. So now this database Cedar is going to use that post factory to create 10 brand new posts. So I know that was a lot of typing and a lot of moving around, but what we can do here is we can finally say PHP artisan db seed, and then we can throw stuff into our database. And now we can go look at SQL Pro, go to data, and now we have 10 brand new posts for a title, a slug, and content. So all in about 20 minutes, we have a brand new database. We have content in our database. And yeah, we should be pretty good to show off all of this content. So let's go and do that next. Yeah, let's go do that next. Any questions so far where we're at? Actually, there are some questions. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to open up our posts. So that's fine right there. Okay, so I'm going to commit this. And while it's deploying, adding post migration plus model plus Cedar. And we'll push. Check this out. Since we pushed here, we are going to see a deploy happen in app platform right there. So while that's deploying, let's answer some questions. None of the links I sent were going into chat. That's fine. Zach Tech, is Laravel the best for web applications? I think it's a fantastic solution for web applications. I'm a big believer in writing a little bit less code. So like Laravel, you see that we built out a post model, a post migration. We're going to show posts in a second. We did all that, but there's some solutions called headless CMSs that let us do a lot of this without actually doing a lot of this code. A couple great solutions are like Statamic, Strappy, Adonis on the node side. So there's a lot of good solutions that let us do stuff like this, but I personally am a really big fan of Laravel for more custom apps because you can really, really fine tune it to what you need to do. Let's see. Does PHP have a Faker JS equivalent? Yep, we just used it. What are the best pair for front plus backend dev? The best pair for front and backend dev is whatever you are most comfortable with. Because if you're talking about front and backend, the front end needs to read an API and the backend needs to create an API. So whatever tool you're comfortable with creating or reading an API, I'm all for. Have I ever used Strappy? Yes, I have. I absolutely love Strappy. I have a couple webinars on the DigitalOcean YouTube channel on Strappy, and I will have a couple more coming up. Does that platform also make it easy to link up other repo providers such as Azure DevOps? Not yet, but that is in the works. Like right now, GitHub is the supported solution. Laravel versus Django. I know Laravel. I don't know Django much. So for me, Laravel does everything I need it to. My coworker Mason uses Django a lot and he builds apps and APIs. I think it's a great solution as well. Is Laravel good for enterprise app development? I think so. I think it's very secure. I think there's a lot of great features and packages that come out of the box. I got Laravel to be able to handle 4 million page views per month. So that's pretty good scale. And I did it pretty cheap too. It was on like a DigitalOcean $40 droplet, which is pretty impressive, I think. Aries, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Cool. So while this is deploying, we have a database that we just added, right? So let's go to Live App. And well, I guess I can't drop links in chat anymore. So let me see if I can drop this link in chat for you all. So yeah, that's the link. If we can get that. Yeah, there we go. In chat. So the next step here is to actually connect to a database and use that database. So if we go to App Platform, if you had to do this in the old droplet world, not old because droplets are still a viable option, right? We go to Components here. We go to Create a Component, and here you can just add brand new things to this one app. So web service, you could add another backend Laravel app if you wanted. You could add a worker. You could add a static site, database. So database is what we'll add here. I'm going to call it DB. It's going to be a dev database, which is great for our test run right here. Create and attach. And there we go. We have a database right there. So what we can do next is we need to make sure that we can connect to this database right here. So let's go to my blog right here, and you can update the environment variables there. So we have this database URL. Let's go see what Laravel needs for a Postgres database. So if we go into our Laravel app right here, I go into, let's close all these, and I'll show you the path. Database, oh my gosh, I messed up. Config database.php, and then let's see. We need DB connection, and it will be one of these connections down here. So SQLite is what we're currently using locally. MySQL, which we aren't going to use here. We're going to use Postgres, which is PGSQL. So if I spread this one over here, and then I'll split this one over to the left. Okay, so we need DB_connection, and we're going to say PGSQL. I'll keep adding. We need database URLs in there. That's fine. We need host. So let me copy that, paste that there. Let me just add a bunch of these real quick. So DB port right there, DB database right there, DB username right there, and DB password right there. And the cool thing about App Platform is since we added this database component right here, we can go down here and we can call it by using this $ DB dot, and then this would be host name. We can do the same here for port, database, password, and username. So this will be port. Actually, let me do that real quick. Port right there. This is database right here. This is username, and this is password. There we go. So now we have all of the environment variables required for our first Laravel app to connect to the database that we just created. And I'll click Save there. Cool. So we'll let that run. Roger, I hear you. Content here, you got it. Is this considered a pass like Heroku? It is a pass similar to Heroku. Yes, it does have a couple different differences. Mostly, this is a pass built on Kubernetes, which is really cool because if you wanted to scale beyond what this dashboard lets you do, you could easily, I guess, eject into that environment and then start messing around in there. Let's see, Lighthouse implementation. I think it's good. What can we do in the console tab? Mark sees the console tab, and you are correct. So let's let this deploy, and then we'll go into the console tab, and this is where we can like run migrations. This is where we can see the database, all that good stuff. So while that's deploying, let's go back here. And one thing I want to do is let's just close all of these out. I don't need that anymore. Let's close all these out. Let's go to resources. Sorry. Let's show these posts that we just created. So we'll go to routes, web, and this is that home page that we had. View is welcome. So let's go get all of the posts. So we're going to say post is equal to app models post all. And then we can dd posts just to make sure that we have them, right? So let's go back into our browser right here. Oh my gosh, I'm clicking all over. Okay, so let's make sure that we have these posts, that we can see them. And there we go. We have an array of these 10 posts. So next up, let's make sure that we can actually show them. So we'll say right here, where's VS Code? There we are. So we'll say return view, and we'll call this the welcome page. We're going to say posts. So basically, we're taking these variables, the posts array, and passing it over to the welcome view. Next up, let's loop over these and actually visualize them and see them. So we'll go into our resources, views, welcome.blade. And let's delete all of these styles that are inline right here. Let's delete everything in the body class right here. We're just going to do it ourselves. Come on. Okay, so we have a brand spanking new clean Laravel app right here. We don't even want these fonts. Cool. So I'm a big fan of Tailwind CSS right now, so I am going to go grab some Tailwind style sheets. So Tailwind, let's go to Tailwind installation. So I'm going to grab it as a CSS file, go back over here, add in Tailwind right there. And then there's another one we can add just to make things a little bit simpler. It's our typography classes. So we'll add their typography classes as well. Okay, so let's give it some styles. If you're not used to Tailwind, I'm just going to write a bunch of stuff. Div class is border, top is 8. Border is blue at 500, padding of 32. And this may seem a little bit wonky because Tailwind can get a little hard to be used to, but div class is max, W, 4XL, MX auto, pros, XL, pros, XL. Sorry, I'm typing a lot. I don't really want to talk about classes too much in this webinar. So here we can say H1, welcome to my blog. Key tag here, lots of great stuff to read. Okay, so basically all of this stuff should show pretty well on our browser right here. Not that one, not that one. This, where'd it go? my-blog.test. Okay, so all of that just to give us this nice looking text. Lots of great stuff to read right there. We've got that nice little blue border. All right, so next up, let's just show all of these posts right here. We'll say for each post as post, and for each In here, we're going to do an H2 and say post title. Okay, so let's go back over here, refresh, and now we have all of our titles of our brand new posts. Not bad, huh? So to recap, and I'll get back to the chat in a second. So to recap what we've done, we created a database. We created post migrations and models. We have created dummy data, which is right here. And we are displaying all of that dummy data. So this is like the R part of a CRUD application. Cool. So let's go back over here, and I'm going to push this, and let's go deploy this to App Platform, adding posts to the homepage. That. Let's see. Rowida. Sorry if I say these names wrong. I would use V8. I think V8 is a fantastic version. A lot of great features since 6. And Laravel is just really good at support for previous versions on its own, and very few breaking changes as it moves forward. Hey, John, good to see you here. Love Tailwind as well. And I guess I'll do like a really quick plug. I've got a course out, beginnertailwind.com, if you want to check that out. Learn some Tailwind from scratch. But let's go back to our DigitalOcean dashboard. Let's refresh this, see what's going on. So it's rebuilding because we just did a push. But what we can do here is, while we wait on this, in here we would do PHP Artisan Migrate and PHP Artisan DB Seed. And then from there, we should be able to just go to our app and see the new changes. So while that's deploying, any other questions here? We've been able to do a lot in like 35, 40 minutes as far as creating a whole database, creating a whole app, and being able to grab data from a database and show it. And then on top of that, we even deployed it in that amount of time, right? So very, very good stuff. Got to switch over to the water because I'm out of coffee. Another thing you could do with this PHP Artisan Migrate is you could, since you want this to run pretty much every deployment, go into components, go into your commands, and run the command right here, PHP Artisan Migrate. So you could do that as well. Dr. Snark, does the new DO apps product do Terraform? I believe we have a plugin in the works on that. I can't really speak on that since I don't fully use that stuff. AKA T-Pain, LTS is probably fine if you don't use many third-party packages for Laravel. I agree. Third-party packages usually, I find the third-party packages are the things that break in Laravel. Not break, but they push forward to, like, say version 8 is required, version 7 is required. So if you're starting a new project now, I would stick with 8. John Nevin, am I using a standing desk? Yes, I am. I am using a standing desk, and I have a cool like standing mat that I like walk around on if you see me like bouncing around. Isaac with the question, while this is deploying, let's go see that in action. So Isaac says, how does one grab data from a JSON response? So you could grab data from a JSON response using, it depends on what language you're using, right? If you're using JavaScript, you can just use the fetch. So let's go see. What's cool about Laravel is there are these routes folders, and I have a Building a Laravel API webinar on DigitalOcean's YouTube. You can click on api.php, you can create a brand new route. Route get, I don't know, let's say call it posts, function right here, return. Actually, we'll say post is equal to app models post all, return posts, and then I'll put a semicolon there. So what's cool about Laravel is that you can do front-end routes, which we just did and we're deploying right now, or you can do these API routes. And definitely check out that webinar if you're interested in the API side. And I can go here and say my-blog.test/API/posts. And here we have a JSON response. So how do you grab this? You can use any language. Any language should be able to grab data from an API and use it and loop over this array in that language. Okay, so we have our deployment done. Let's go into our console. Let me refresh just in case. Come on, where'd you go? So we have our components. We have my blog, which is the Laravel app. We have a database, which is the Postgres database. You can even see connection parameters here. Our password is here, which I'll destroy this after this webinar anyway. Connection string right here. You can have that as a full connection string. Really nice. And then if we go to console, come on, where'd you go? There we go. Okay, so here our console is up. I can do PHP artisan. Actually, just to show it off real quick, I'll do an ls. That's all of our Laravel install. We can do PHP artisan migrate. It'll ask for production probably. App is in production. Do you really want to run this? Yes, I do. So it went and created all of the tables in the production environment. And if you wanted to run that on every build, you can force it with PHP artisan migrate -- force, and that would work. If we ran this, it'll say nothing to migrate. Indra, what is the underlying web server? I believe it's, you can see it over here under components. Under the build command, Heroku PHP Apache 2, and that's their like open source stuff. So that's there. Let's go for PHP artisan DB seed. And this should throw a bunch of that stuff. Actually, it'll ask for production, but this will throw a bunch of fake data into our brand new database that we created from a couple clicks. How do we fetch data from an external API and use the data in Laravel app? Laravel has an HTTP package. Okay, so do we run this in production? Yes, we do. Database seeding is complete. Now let's go visit our app and see it in action. Cool. So we were able to do everything we did locally on app platform by clicking a couple buttons in the dashboard. So fantastic stuff, I think. So we have our Laravel app here. We have all of our posts right here. And every time we push, we'll get a brand new deployment. All of this is coming from our brand new Postgres database that we didn't have to configure. We didn't have to automate or anything like that. And if we wanted to grow this app, if we started getting some more traffic, which hopefully we do, right? We can go here. We can go down to scaling option right here. We can click edit. Let's up this to the $10 a month basic plan. And if we were on the pro plan, you could then, so let's go to the pro plan. Then you could up the number of containers. So you can scale vertically and horizontally. It'll handle all of that good stuff for us. And I'll click save here. Let's drop this to 2 containers. I'll click save here. This will upgrade us to the pro plan. All good there. Upgrade plan. So just like that, we can scale our app as we grow just with a couple buttons from the dashboard. Frank, with the question, can you make your domain your own domain? Yes, you can. So here under components, we can go down here. Actually, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. So settings, domains, you can click edit here. You can add a domain, and then you can add your domain here, and we are improving all of this stuff pretty quickly. And the cool thing about App Platform is that it comes with a CDN and like DDoS network protection out of the box, which is really fun. Thanks, aka T-Pain. Laravel does have an HTTP library to grab data. Cool. So that's adding a domain name. So we really try to put everything like in one dashboard for your app. And what's cool is if you built a Laravel API, and I think this will be the next webinar that I do, is going to be a Laravel API plus a React front end. The cool thing about that is you can say, okay, I want to add a static site now. So you can go ahead and create like a my next. So now you can deploy a Next.js static site in addition to your backend Laravel API, in addition to your database, and all three of those things can live together as your app. And that's why we called it App Platform. Cool. So that'll wrap it up. This is the app we're looking at. If you want to check that out, we'll drop a link in the chat. And yeah, let's do like 10, 15 minutes of Q&A if you've got any. And thank you again for watching and joining me in this tech talk. What do you think? Was that helpful? Was that something that you want to see more of this Laravel stuff? I'm a pretty big fan of Laravel. Or do you want to see more of like the headless CMS side of things, like Statamic, like Strappy, like maybe putting together something on Python? Thanks, Dr. Snark. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. So let's see. What does it use under the hood? It's Kubernetes, I believe, for all of it. I believe. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, so check it out. Built a blog with Laravel in 40 minutes. And then if you wanted, you could probably add in an admin dashboard where you could like write up your posts. And then every time you write a post, it would just like create a brand new post. Laravel plus Vue.js, would it work? Yes, it would. Laravel absolutely works well with Vue, actually. Let's see. Can we use more than one database with Laravel? Yes, you can. It's in the settings of the Laravel app. Laravel comes with a lot of fun stuff out of the box. So if I go to here, config database.php, it's somewhere in here. Migration's there. Redis is here. There's a way that you can actually create multiple databases in this array, and definitely check the docs so you can like fact check me, and especially look at the syntax. But you can definitely create, you can have Laravel connect to multiple databases. And if you went into your app platform dashboard and you created a brand new database right here, you could name it DB2, right? And then anytime you needed to reference DB2, you would go into environment variables, you would say db2.database, db2.username, like that. So it all depends on how you want to architect your app. And that's what's cool about App Platform. It lets you do all of those things. Gatsby plus the WordPress API would be great. Yeah, let's do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. What did I use to run Laravel locally? I used Laravel Valet. Laravel plus React would be gold. I think that'll be my next one because I'm a big fan. Will this be available to watch later? Yes, it will. It'll be right here on the DigitalOcean YouTube channel. Let's see. If you have any more questions, since we're about to wrap up, you can find me on twitter.com/ChrisOnCode. So I'm always happy to field messages there and talk to you there. And then also you can find us at the DigitalOcean YouTube channel, which you're already on if you're watching this. Right on from Colombia. You're very welcome, Luis. Can I do a tutorial on a multi-tenant app? Yeah. I think that would be fun. Yeah, I'm a big fan of like trying to make these as global as possible. I'm not entirely sure the setup yet. I would have to do some research. Royada with the question, what's the difference between a factory and a Cedar? So the Cedar runs the factory. So if we go back to our apps right here, and we click on this database folder right here, we have factories, which is a way to define what a fake post would look like. And then the Cedar actually grabs that and says, okay, I want 10 of those. So the Cedar runs the factory. So they work hand in hand. If you're stuck in Vim, just restart the computer. Maybe you'll get out. Thanks, Indra. I'm glad you joined us. Hello from Africa. Awesome. You got it, Chris. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Really appreciate you all. Thanks for, we know you could spend time in a lot of places on the web. Thanks for spending it here. Right on, Isaac. Thank you very much. I gotcha. Yes, so you could do a new component. And if you have something that, and let me tell you the differences between a web service, which is this Laravel app we just created, is something that's publicly accessible. If you need something that runs and isn't publicly accessible, like you just need it to kind of run in the background, that's what a worker is for. And that's what these components are. Nepal, I love it. Awesome. All around the globe. Fantastic. Cool. Any other questions? Anything you want to see? I got Laravel plus React requests, Laravel plus Vue requests. I definitely want to do some more on like headless CMSs. We're going to do a Strappy plus Next.js one. Statamic, I really want to play around with in these webinars. WordPress and Ghost, of course. Anything that gives us a CMS out of the box where we can like quickly spin up a blog or any app or anything like that, I think would be a lot of fun. You're very welcome. Oh, sweet. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Cool. So I love that. That's cool. Let's see. Question from chat. Matthias. What is Insights? Insights lets us see how much like traffic and CPU usage each of our components is using. So our CPU, I don't know when that 100 was, maybe on the deploy. Memory usage, CDN bandwidth, which is a lot of fun to see. So yeah. And this is a good place to kind of see if like you should scale your app. So then you would go to components and do the whole scaling thing over there. Database right here. CPU usage on the database side of things, load average, memory usage, disk usage, lots of good stuff. And remember, this is on the dev database, so it's more for like demo apps like the one you're seeing today. For production apps, you would go to a production database. Can we use socket connections in Laravel? I actually haven't personally used socket connections in Laravel, but they do have support for, where is it? Broadcasting. And you can use the Laravel's broadcasting to do real-time fun stuff like that. And there's also support for third-party products like Pusher. Definitely read through the Laravel docs. A lot of really fun stuff. And you can kind of get a feel for what features they have. If you look in the config, there's authentication out of the box, broadcasting, caching, cores is out of the box, database, which we saw a lot in this webinar, file systems. You can even push like things to spaces and storage. Mailing, you can use features like Mandrill from MailChimp or Mailgun. So yeah, definitely read through the docs on Laravel. A lot of really great things in the in Laravel. Have I checked out Keystone.js? Not yet. Is it the same out of the box with Lumen? It's pretty similar. I would say Laravel just gives you it's the micro framework versus the full framework, right? So Laravel gives you more stuff, but yep, pretty much the same setup. Increasing the number of containers so that over here in components, scaling. So number of containers you could think of as different, I guess, in the droplet world, you would just create 2 droplets and kind of like link them and together and then send traffic to one or the other. Here, it's the same concept, right? So instead of letting one kind of get all the traffic, you split between 2 containers. Servers. And I'm not entirely sure how that looks on the back end since we're running Kubernetes. But so you can scale vertically, which is increasing the size of each container. And then you can scale horizontally, which is increasing the number of containers. Let's see. Love it. Look at all these questions coming in. Can we use the app platform with the free credit from Dio? Yes, you can. So if you go to, let me drop my link in again, dio.co/Chris. I feel like the $sign should always go after the number, right? Nobody believes me, so I'll just keep it over here. Cool. DDoS protection comes out of the box with app platform. So no worries there. Can I install Worker for running WebSockets without depending on Pusher? Yes. Since Laravel can let you do broadcasting with Redis, you could create a Redis component and then throw in the Laravel Worker and then use those 2 to create some sort of broadcasting service. No need for Pusher there. Vivek Joshi. I like this question. Recap, huh? So let's go to apps. How we deployed Laravel to app platform. We go to create app. And we deploy directly from GitHub, which is amazing. My blog. Click on that, click next, and you're off to the races. Is there a simple way to migrate from Droplet to an app? I actually don't think so. I don't know if we have one in the works. That'll be a question I should follow up on, though. Have I used any other pipelines or any other tools? Not in this webinar. For bringing in other tools, the recommendation is like run things locally, like testing or anything like that, and then use GitHub Actions for any more automation type things. But we are working on bringing more of that like pipeline sort of mentality to app platform. All right, so it looks like we're coming up right at the hour. Thank you everybody for joining. Again, my name is Chris on Code. Really appreciate you all being here. Thanks for throwing in your questions. Thanks for joining us from all around the world. Really, really appreciate you all. And And yeah, let me know what else you want to see. And we'll see you in the next Tech Talk. Thanks, everybody. Right on. Thanks, Mark. I think so. I really like it. I've been pretty excited for this launch for a while now. So again, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you later.